The Book of Boba Fett is once again here. This week we've got Chapter 4, which sees Boba Fett meet Fennec Shand in the past and rescue her, as well as take back Slave One, aka his Firespray class gunship. Something I've personally been waiting for some time now. Greetings my young Padawans, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Star Wars Now. Chapter 4 is titled The Gathering Storm, and is directed by Kevin Trevorrow, and written by Jon Favreau. What I'm really enjoying and liking with this chapter is while we're seeing more flashbacks, which I'm not usually a big fan of, we're seeing more of the critical elements that set up the present day of the series. Things such as recruiting Fennec Shand and recovering Slave One. All of this linking with the present day of the Book of Boba Fett and linking with The Mandalorian. Of course, before we do jump into this video, use the force and hit that subscribe and like button to never miss a video for myself and the team here at Star Wars Now. As always, if you're talking about Star Wars, then we want to hear about it. One element of this chapter I really enjoyed was the resolution of how Boba Fett met Fennec Shand and ultimately saved her life. The motto of this chapter, and part of the series really is, you can only get so far without a tribe. The flashback elements of this episode were really enjoyable, and personally I felt this might be the end of them. Fennec's life-saving moment from the mod shop is something I should have really seen coming. When you think about it, we've seen her prosthetics introduced in the Mandalorian series, so the introduction of last week's mod characters should have been a dead giveaway for what is really going on here. But alas, that one did slip my mind. Oh well. Did you see the mod creator, or should I say blacksmith? I don't really know what to call him. Oh wait, he's actually called the modifier, and is played by Steven Thundercat Brunner, a well-known musician. The music in the scene is likely a direct relation to the actor himself, hence it being an interesting choice. Boba Fett is now healed it seems, with the droid congratulating him on this, perhaps suggesting that this episode would contain the last of the flashback scenes. Given we already know how Fett gets his armour back, though did we ever learn how he knew that Cobb Vanth originally used the armour? Perhaps he found this out by word of mouth or something. Honestly, don't know. The recapture and retrieval of Slave One is something I've been waiting to see since the series began. Finally, Boba Fett has got his signature starship back. Retaking the actual ship was a mixture of stealth and just general Star Wars epicness I felt, even if some of the droid scenes did feel a little silly, though humour is appreciated at the same time.
You fool! You are the bold one. I will deal with this myself. Come on, General, come on.
Though the scenes of Fett wiping out the Strider bike gang was fantastic and very dark for Star Wars, literally wiping out the whole gang with the power of Slave One. Fett is basically using the ship to enact revenge, though one thing I did not see coming was the return of the Sarlacc Pit. Of course the Sarlacc Pit is a recurring location in the series, which was to be expected in a sense, but I've not really seen Boba Fett piloting a starship into the mouth of it. As it goes, this tactical decision was a rather stupid one, but then again I was also going to suggest dropping a seismic charge into the pit to make sure everything is dead. Then again, that would likely risk burying the armor for good if it actually was in there. You know, I think we almost got a bit of Tamara Morrison's comedy injected into this episode, especially with the scenes with the Bantha, as they bid farewell to each other and the beast licks him on the face. We've also got a bit with a rat catcher droid. These types of droids are always seen in Star Wars doing a variety of random tasks and usually making a worrying noise. They're rather weird. Present day shenanigans were fantastic, with Black Krrsantan throwing hands in the Sanctuary Cantina. Thankfully Garsa Fwip managed to actually calm the situation down before it got out of hand, just as Boba Fett walked in. The fighting pits and the legend of Krrsantan was shown to viewers in this episode, which was nice, as they now know what sort of character he is, which is really cool in my opinion. What we're really seeing in the Book of Boba Fett is Fett building up his criminal empire, or should I rather say, tribe. He's recruited Fennec Shand, which is shown off in this episode, along with the mods as they're referred to, and now Black Krrsantan. Honestly, many of us saw the recruitment of Krrsantan coming from a mile away, I think. Now, as the title of the chapter suggests, this episode plays very much of the idea of preparing for the oncoming war. The Gathering Storm relates to the fact that Pike Syndicate are preparing to take Tatooine by force, likely triggering out all-out combat with Fett and his criminal empire. Though his meeting with the other territory holders shows they won't actually help him, but also they're not stupid enough to defy him at the same time. Realistically, I expect that we'll see the Trandoshans taking on Fett, as I personally don't trust them. We could just let Krrsantan go at them again. I think this would solve the problem if he just rips off another person's arm. Hey, at least we have a mod shop around to help out if need be. Doc Strassi is present at the meeting of the faction leaders, once again voiced by Robert Rodriguez, one of the key directors for the Book of Boba Fett. Now the ending of this episode seems to suggest that Fett and Shand need some hired muscle to help with the oncoming war on Tatooine. Who better to hire for this than someone who owes them a favour in a sense? the one and only Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian. His theme plays at the end when the pair are discussing needing to pay credits to hire someone, if they know where to look.
How much treasure do we have in reserve?
I have plenty of credits. What I'm short on is muscle.
Credits can buy muscle. If you know where to look.
The Mando appearing in the Book of Boba Fett is something many have expected for some time now. It would fill in what he's doing after Season 2's final of The Mandalorian, and perhaps set up the third season of the show, given we know virtually nothing about what is coming up for Din Djarin without Grogu. Thinking about this episode, while I liked it overall, it did certainly appear much slower than the previous episode in a sense. Like it was setting up for a big event for the next chapter, or as we start to get closer to either a big reveal or a big fight. Yes, war is certainly coming, and we're watching Boba Fett gather his assets, or tribe, together for this. Part of me does wonder if the Mandalorian showing up might take away from Boba Fett being the star of his own show. Then again, with all the cameos in the actual Mandalorian show, those do not take away from the main character or plot, so I'm not that worried about it at the end of the day. Alright Exalted Ones, that's it for myself. Once again, the Book of Boba Fett is giving us more of juicy Star Wars lore that we love to see. I can only wait with bated breath for the next chapter to see if all my theories and speculation is actually going to come true. Don't forget, you can hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with the latest Star Wars news, lore and more. You can also follow us on social media as well. Make sure to let us know what you think in the video comment section below, because if you're talking about Star Wars, then we want to hear about it. For now, I've been Jack here on Star Wars Now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.